AITA for kicking my brother and his wife out of my house after they tried to redecorate my dead daughter's room without asking. I can't even believe I'm typing this right now because I'm still so angry that my hands are shaking. But here we go. For context, I, 38F, lost my daughter Lily in a car accident 2 years ago. She was only 14. It's still raw, and I can't imagine it ever not being. Anyone who's lost a child will tell you, it's not something you move on from. You just learn how to exist around the grief. Lily was my world. She was bright, creative, full of life. Everything you'd want in a child. Her room is the one place that still feels like she's there. I haven't touched it since the day she passed. It's exactly as she left it. Her posters on the walls, her art supplies scattered across the desk, her favorite hoodie hanging on the back of her chair. Everything. I can't bring myself to change it. Walking by her room gives me a strange sense of comfort, like I still have a piece of her here with me, even if it's just in the form of her things. Fast forward to a few months ago, my younger brother, Jake, 34M, and his new wife, Sarah, 29F, came to me with a problem. They had just had a huge, lavish wedding, which honestly I wasn't a fan of because they were already deep in debt, but that's their business, I guess. And surprise, surprise, they were struggling financially. They asked if they could stay with me for a bit while they saved up for their own place. Now, to be honest, I wasn't thrilled about the idea. I love my brother, but Sarah has always rubbed me the wrong way. She's the kind of person who always seems to have an opinion on everything, especially when no one's asking for it. Still, I agreed because, well, family, right? At first, it was fine. They moved into the guest room downstairs, and we all just coexisted. But after a few weeks, I noticed Sarah making little comments about Lily's room. Things like, don't you think it's time to let go? Or maybe it's unhealthy to keep a shrine like this. I'd brush it off and change the subject, but it bothered me. Who was she to tell me how to grieve my child? I've seen therapists. I know where I stand with my grief, and it's not her place to weigh in. My brother mostly kept quiet, but I could see her words starting to sink in with him. One day, she actually suggested I turn Lily's room into a guest room or an office to make the space more useful. I didn't respond. I didn't trust myself to. If looks could kill, though, I'm pretty sure Sarah wouldn't have survived that conversation. Still, I never thought they'd actually do anything about it. Then, last week happened. I had a long day at work, exhausting, stressful, the whole 9 yards. I came home just looking forward to decompressing and maybe watching some TV before bed. But when I walked upstairs, I noticed something was off. The door to Lily's room was open. I always keep it closed. My heart immediately dropped, and I rushed over. What I saw made me freeze in the doorway. Her posters, the ones she had hung up herself, were gone. Her bed was stripped. All her things, her books, her drawings, her clothes, they were packed away in boxes. The walls, which she had painstakingly decorated with her own little doodles and pictures, were half painted over in this awful, bland beige. And worst of all, there was new furniture sitting in the middle of the room, generic, boring furniture that looked like it came straight out of some sterile hotel. I was shaking. I could barely breathe. It felt like someone had gutted me right there on the spot. I don't even remember how I got downstairs, but suddenly I was in the living room, screaming for Jake and Sarah. They came rushing in, looking all surprised and concerned like they didn't know why I was so upset. What did you do? I screamed at them, and my voice cracked. What the hell did you do? Sarah, with this infuriatingly calm tone, said, we thought we'd do you a favor. It's time to let go. You need to move on. It's unhealthy to keep things the way they were. A favor. A favor? They had the audacity to think this was a favor? I completely lost it. I yelled. I cried. I told them to pack their things and get out of my house immediately. Jake tried to calm me down, saying they were just trying to help and that I needed to let go of the past to heal. But all I could see was betrayal. They had crossed the one line I never thought anyone could. They destroyed the last piece of Lily that I had left. When I told them to leave, Jake had the nerve to look hurt. He said they had nowhere else to go, that they were in a tough spot, and didn't mean any harm. But I didn't care. I didn't want them in my house for another second. They packed up and left that night, but the fallout didn't stop there. Now my whole family is divided. My parents are furious with me, saying I overreacted and that Jake and Sarah were just trying to help me in their own way. They keep telling me that people grieve differently and that I'm being too harsh. They've even suggested that I apologize and let them move back in. I can't even wrap my head around that. They destroyed my daughter's room, my safe space, and I'm supposed to apologize? Jake has been texting me constantly, asking me to reconsider, saying they have nowhere else to go and that it's just a room. But it's not just a room. It's all I have left of Lily. I don't think I'm overreacting, but the way everyone's treating me has me second-guessing everything. Was I too harsh? Should I have handled it differently? So, Reddit, AITA for kicking them out and refusing to consider letting them back in after what they did?